Do you have the Babylock Protege serger? Do you need a refresher on how to thread the machine and get it set up? Well, stay tuned, hit the like, and we're gonna get right into it. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do is come over here to the thread stand and make sure this is pulled all the way up like mine. It could also be down like that, so make sure you pull it up. You'll also want the presser foot to be up for this process. So take the lever and put it in the up position before you begin threading. That is what opens up the tension discs so that the thread can lay in there. I cut all the threads off, so now I'll show you how to thread the machine. Sergers have a specific order that they have to be threaded in, and this particular machine is going to be threaded in the order of first the upper looper, then the lower looper, and then the right needle, followed by the left needle. So we're going to begin with the thread here in the upper looper position. Bring the thread behind the thread stand like this, and then make the thread come in front of this little round part, but behind this pointed part. Like that, then bring the tail down. So what you're looking for is the thread to come straight through from back to front. You could also just feed it through like that too. Next, you'll slide that strand of thread underneath this silver guide here, and then it'll come down this channel. Next, we need to open the front cover of the machine, so just slide this to the side and pull it open. Next, you'll bring your thread that just came through this channel and through this tension disc down here, and it's going to lay into this silver guide here. There's actually a diagram on the inside of the machine that I'm following to thread this. So we came through the tension disc, which is this, and then we came down the channel and we came into that first silver guide. Now we'll come over here to these, which are these. And they're also marked with a green dot, so you know that that's part of the path of the upper looper thread. So we'll bring this thread underneath the first silver guide so it clicks in. And the second silver guide opens to the left here. Just pull that so it clicks in as well. You can look at the picture here and see next we're coming up to a thing on the side of a rod next to the actual upper looper. So that's the actual upper looper. So we're going to come to this thing up here. And that's going to be this little wire guide that's on the post that's a part of the upper looper. So bring the thread up into that wire guide, like that. And then finally we will thread the eye of the upper looper. So I'm going to clip my thread to be a little more clean, and I'm just going to It can be helpful to use tweezers for this part. It's kind of hard to grab it from behind the looper. There we go. Now we'll move on to the lower looper and come in from the back of the thread stand there as well. So just come behind this and bring the tail forward like that. And same thing, we'll lay the thread under this silver guide here, and we'll bring it down the first channel. When you bring them through these channels, it has to go through the tension disc. So it's good anytime you're doing these to hold at the top and underneath and really lay it in there to make sure the thread really went into the tension discs. Just pull that out so there's no slack. So looking at the diagram, next we'll bring this thread down and into this first guide. That's what that is there. And then you can see those two same points. So we're going to put the thread into both of those again. And you can see that both guides are marked with a blue dot as well as a green dot, so that tells you that both the upper looper and the lower looper threads need to go through both of these. So we'll just come underneath the bottom one and around the side of the other one, like that. First we have a guide right here. It's marked with the blue dot. And it's also shown on the diagram here. So first I'll bring the thread under that guide with the blue dot on it. Okay. And now we have to thread the actual lower looper. So I'm going to open the side. Now we need to open the side of the machine to get to the lower looper. So turn this to open. That's going to allow this whole piece to come off when you swing the side open. Now we can get to our lower looper. I'm going to turn the flywheel towards me so that the lower looper comes out more. There it is, see it? That's our lower looper. So this is what we have to thread. There's 2 holes on this. So the first hole is right here, and we're going to come from back to front on that one. And it actually has a slot in the top that helps you, so your thread can actually go in there. And then I'll show you the other hole on it. It's on the tip of it, just like the upper looper was. So first I'm going to feed my thread through the opening here so I can get it. That's the thread that we just had that came through that guide with the blue dot on it. And now I'm going to bring the thread behind the lower looper and forward through that little slot. Just like that. Now we're going to come back over here and turn the flywheel towards you so that that lower looper comes out. There it is. So there's the hole on it that we need to thread. So again, I have the thread over here, and I'm going to feed it through to myself through this opening underneath the feed dogs. So I've got the thread. I'm just handing it over to myself here. Okay, here it is. Pull all that slack through. Okay, I peeked in there. I made sure it didn't come unthreaded from the first hole of the lower looper. And now I'm just going to clip it. And thread it through the eye. Once the thread is through the looper's eye, just pull it so there's no slack. And make sure both of the threads are under the presser foot. Now that we're done threading the lower looper, we can close the store. Now for the easy ones, the needles. So we'll start with the right needle. So take the thread from the spool and same thing, bring it behind the thread stand, slide under there and bring the tail forward. Then just slide the thread under these silver guides and down that channel. This next part's going to be similar to your regular sewing machine. So the thread just comes down here and then comes underneath this silver guide, underneath this silver guide, and then up and around this plastic guide. And we're on the yellow, so you look at your guides here. We have one marked with yellow, so it's going to click into that one. And then we'll come down to the needles. If you want, you can disengage the blade for this part. So press right here on the edge of the blade, and then turn this wheel right here backwards. And then the blade will be out of your way. So now I'm going to thread the needle's eye from front to back. I'm going to put the presser foot down too, just so I have a little more space. And pull that out the back. Get all that slack off of everything. Okay, now let's move on to the final needle. So now we'll do the left needle. So take your thread, come behind the thread stand and through the opening from back to front. Lay that thread into the silver guide and bring it down the first channel through the tension discs. Okay, here's our one that just came down this channel. So now there's 2 openings on this guide. We're going to go with the upper one. You can see these also have color-coded markings, so we're going to come under the one with the red, like that, and then up and around the plastic piece just like the other one did. Then we'll come behind the silver guide that's marked with a red dot. And finally, we'll thread it through the eye of the left needle. Just like that. So there is one thing I want to point out that can often be a problem. Go ahead and raise your presser foot if it's not already. Can you see that there, that the threads are laying on top of the silver presser foot? So that was something that hung me up a lot. Make sure you're bringing those threads under the presser foot all the way, and none of them are laying on any part of it. They're all underneath it, like that. Okay, now we can go ahead and re-engage our blade because we are done threading. So press in on the end of the blade and turn the wheel towards you. Now we can close our front cover. Now it's time for the moment of truth. Will we get a chain? So our goal is to get a chain before we start sewing on any fabric. So I'm going to lower the presser foot. And before I even hit the pedal, I will give the wheel one rotation towards me, just to make sure the needles are all clear of anything that would be improperly threaded or anything like that. Okay, looks good. So I'm going to gently hold on to these threads and hit the pedal, and we should get a chain if we did everything right. Let's see. Perfect. That is exactly what we're looking for. Let's test it on some fabric. So here's your blade. So as long as anything is to the right of the blade, that's going to get chopped off. So you can lift your presser foot part of the way like this. You don't have to reach up to the lever every time. You can just lift the front of it. Okay, I have my fabric positioned well to the right of that blade, so it'll have plenty to cut off. You always want it to be cutting something off. All right, let's hit the pedal and see how this looks. When you get to the end, just keep hitting the pedal so you have a big long chain after your fabric. Check it out, looks really good. So you can see, if you want to analyze this stitch, this is our 4-thread standard overlock. So our 2 black lines that you see here are made by the needles, so the left and right needles. And then all of this thread that travels horizontally on top of it is made from the upper looper. You can tell because we threaded that one with yellow. Then when you flip it over, all these horizontal strands on the back side are made from the lower looper. So if you ever need to adjust any of your tensions or anything like that, different colored thread can really make it helpful for understanding what thread is making what in the stitch. Here we have some settings for stitch length and differential feed. So there's an outer white dial that controls the setting for stitch length and an inner teal dial that controls the setting for differential feed. So stitch length is just how loosely or densely packed your stitches are. This works just like your regular sewing machine. What differential feed means is the serger has 2 sets of feed dogs that can move at different rates. Instead of just all the feed dogs moving at the same rate like on your sewing machine, one can move slower than the other, and that can correct for a variety of problems you might be having when you're serging on either thin, tightly woven fabrics, which would be a reason to turn this down to one of these settings. Or if you have a stretchy fabric, you could make one move faster than the other, and that will account for those lettucey edges that you sometimes get when you try to sew stretchy fabrics. So you can turn this up, and that will usually correct that issue. For regular cotton fabric or other woven fabrics that behave normally, you can leave this at N. For neutral or normal, we touched on this a little bit, but I want to tell you a little more about this dial. So when it's set to open, of course, we can swing this all the way open. And then we can access our lower looper here. But if we just turn this to free arm, what it does is it causes this piece of plastic to stay connected to this throat plate when you swing this open, so that you can use this free arm for your sleeves or pants or anything like that. You can put your fabric under here and use this free arm. So this setting is just telling the machine, do you want it to keep the plastic attached to the throat plate when you open it, or do you want it to come off with the door? Pretty cool, pretty unique. I liked this. This is a little spot that they recommend you put your tweezers in. And I also liked this. They give you a little storage compartment back here. You can put stuff in here. Here on the side of the machine, they give you a little thread cutter blade. Just bring your tails up over the top of that. Up here we have your presser foot pressure, so you can increase pressure on that if you're sewing a thicker fabric. Over here, of course, we have our flywheel, our power switch, and our cables. This dial here is your cutting width, so if you turn this, it's going to make this lower blade move to the right or to the left. That's going to change how much fabric gets cut off. So if you have extra fabric bunching up inside of your stitch, or conversely, if you have extra space of loops inside of your stitch where fabric is not filling, then this would be something you would need to adjust to correct that. And finally, we have our stitch finger. So if you pull this switch towards you, you'll see a little piece of metal disengages from the throat plate. When you push it forward, that piece of metal comes back. These settings are marked with S and R for standard and rolled hem, because most often if you're disengaging that stitch finger, it's because you're trying to do a rolled hem. The stitch finger is what keeps, it's kind of like a finger, like you tie a bow around somebody's finger. It's holding all those threads there so it can make a nice flat stitch that we want. But sometimes we don't want it nice and flat. We want it to roll over so it can become more minimal. So that would be a time when you would disengage your stitch finger for the rolled hem. If your needles are missing or you need to replace them, you can loosen these two black screws and it'll make your needles drop out. Then you'll just insert the needles with the flat part to the back. It works just like your regular sewing machine. If you need a little help on that, you can check out the above video that I'll link. And if you need to purchase any universal needles, which are great for this Babylock machine, you can grab those on our website. Okay, well, thanks for watching that video on the Babylock Protege serger. I hope that helped you get your machine up and running. If so, please leave a comment down below. If not, if you need some help, please leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to assist you with that. Please also do give the video a like if you enjoyed this, and please consider subscribing to our channel. We do a new video every Monday and it's all about sewing deep dives.